We open in a fantasy world where we meet our main character, Bonoza. He oversees cargo being loaded, and as an apology for keeping the workers late, he offers to pay them. This gesture is taboo, since demi-humans aren't considered equals here, but Bonoza doesn't care about the norms, and insists they take the money and enjoy a meal. Suddenly, Bonoza glows and vanishes. He's been chosen as a hero candidate and transported to another world, where he places his hand on a crystal. He displays his stats, which appear to be weak. Before he can process this, another summoned person is revealed with the stats of a true hero, drawing all the attention. The scene shifts to the king celebrating this new hero, while Bonoza is left waiting in the background. During this, he learns that returning home is not an option. He is escorted to a remote area outside the kingdom. On the way, he discovers that demi-humans are not treated as slaves in this world. After a long journey, they arrive at a forest. The driver gives Bonoza a bottomless bag filled with enough supplies to last a while, and warns him that the Dark Army is camped nearby, urging him to leave while he still can. As he explores, slimes attack him. He tries to defend himself with his sword, but it breaks easily due to its poor quality. Despite this, he levels up to level 2, and a mysterious symbol appears on his stats. A voice chat activates, notifying him about a monster luring spell in his bag, and asking if he wants to remove it. He chooses to remove it and heads deeper into the forest. He soon encounters a poisonous gas created by monsters, dangerous to humans, and is after he wants to purify the forest. He agrees, unleashing a powerful burst of magic that purifies the area. Notifications flood in, telling him he's leveled up multiple times. We then cut to the king arguing with the princess. She criticizes him to sending Bonoza to his doom. Just then, a messenger arrives, reporting that someone used supreme holy magic purification in the northern forest where Bonoza was sent. The king initially thinks it's the hero, but he's corrected, it wasn't. Back in the forest, Bonoza realizes he's been banished and learns he can shapeshift. He first tries taking a female form, but decides to remain as a man. He then attempts to teleport to the capital, realizing he can use magic, hoping to return to his homeworld. He tries teleporting there, but fails. In town, he searches for an adventurers guild and registers under the name Below. He notices a young girl asking for help getting into the forest he just came from, but everyone turns her down. He offers to help her and suggests teleporting there, but teleportation is considered too advanced for a beginner like him. Just then, a knight and 3 others confront him, suspecting him of ulterior motives. To prove his sincerity, Bonoza invites them along and successfully teleports everyone to the forest. They apologize for doubting him. In the forest, the girl notices the absence of the magical fog and creatures. Before Bonoza can explain, a voice warns him not to reveal the nature of his powers, especially to a demon. It turns out that the girl is a demon, and the knights and her companions intend to kill her. She transforms into a true form, a giant wolf, and releases the same fog from earlier. Bonoza is the only one who can withstand it, so he teleports the knights back into the castle for safety, staying behind to face the demon alone. Bonoza uses all his spells at his disposal, successfully dodging, blocking, and even countering the wolf's attacks. Despite his effort, it's not enough to fully subdue her, so he resorts to a gravity spell to pin her down. He considers restraining her, but the recommended spell essentially enslaves her, which he's firmly against. She continues to cast spells against him, but his power keeps negating hers. As her magic depletes, she pleads with him to end her life. He refuses and releases the gravity spell, intending to walk away. Perplexed by his actions, the wolf transforms back into her natural state, a smaller form. Bonoza offers her his coat and tells her to refrain from eating humans, but she collapses from magical exhaustion. That night, he sets up a camp and tends to her using healing magic. She wakes up grateful for his kindness and declares that since he spared her, she considers him her master. and vows to devote herself to him. Bonoza insists he has no desire for a slave, but he eventually opens up about his own situation. They agree to face the challenges together. We cut to the king speaking with the hero, revealing that the hero is actually a coward, unfit for real combat, and only effective against humans. Disappointed, the king questions his usefulness. Back in town, Bonoza and the wolf girl walk through the streets when someone addresses her as Miss. Bonoza gets the idea to pretend that they're husband and wife to blend in better. They head to the Adventurers Guild where she gets her own registration device. He registers her under the name Reese, and they learn of an urgent request for adventurers. Reese eagerly volunteers to take on the mission of hunting down bears. They teleport to the site and decide to use a house they find as their base of operations. Suddenly, they hear a scream. It's the same lights from before, surrounded by bears. Bonoza and Reese quickly intervene, saving the knights. Bonoza introduces Reese as his adventuring companion, but when another bear appears, it faints at the sight of her. The bear surrenders, and they decide to keep it as a pet, with Bonoza using his powers to make it shapeshift into something cuter. The knights, grateful for their rescue, ask for a favour. They introduce themselves and request that Bonoza train them in combat, explaining that they need the skills to serve in the king's army. Reese gets upset by the request, leading Bonoza to reintroduce her as his wife. She then suggests that he train the knights by sparring with them, and Bonoza agrees to the plan. The knights also ask if they can stay with Bonoza and Reese while they train. Meanwhile, we cut to the Demon Lord, who learns that the forest has been cleansed of its corruption. Troubled by this, the Demon Lord commands that the person responsible for this be brought before him. And that's it for the first 2 episodes of Chilling in Another World with level 2 super cheap powers. Other than the long title, these 2 episodes do a great job of setting up the story with a unique twist on the isekai genre. Obviously, he didn't come from our world to another world. He went from one fantasy setting to another fantasy setting with similar concepts. Now, Bonoza isn't a typical overpowered hero. He's cast aside, but his unexpected powers and determination keep things engaging. Not only that, but from what we see, he doesn't really want to fight. That's not the person he is. He just wants to be with his wife at this point in time. Now, I must say this is very interesting world building, from the treatment of the demi-humans to the contrast between Bonoza and so-called real hero. Plus, the chemistry in Bonoza and Reese is a real highlight, adding humour and heart to the adventure. So, I want to know what you all think in the comment section down below. Do you like this series? I'm enjoying it so far, and I can't wait until season 2. But if you want me to cover this full series, let me know in the comment section down below, and why not like and subscribe while you're there, it helps me a ton. But in any case, that does it for me. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone.